And I know there's a couple of stories we wanted to pick your brain on real quickly here in the news today. The Laken Riley murder trial saw testimony today from the witnesses who reported her missing, her friends, but also the first responders who found her near that jogging trail. I know we talked about this a little bit before, but this is probably not a complicated criminal case. What seems to be coming out of this, besides the illegal immigrant angle, is it seems to be raising a lot of awareness about people's self-awareness and safety and knowing your surroundings. And what is kind of your takeaway from what we're learning about this Laken Riley case?
I agree with you, and I think that this should bring awareness. We don't like to criticize the actions of others, especially when the outcome is this, right, death, but we learn from it. And this is the exact example that we give when we train on situational awareness, be aware of your surroundings, get off your phone, if you're going to run with headsets, use one earpiece, not two, keep the volume down so you can hear things around you. So again, a very, very, very sad outcome. But I think that it's important for people to learn from this and other incidents such as this one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you said. No one is suggesting she made a mistake. But if her tragic death can save lives or help other people be safer, I think even her family would certainly want that as one of the outcomes. When you look at what they've got on this guy, and they are finding clothing with blood and her hair on it and stuff like that, I mean, it does seem like a pretty open and shut case.
It does. I mean, I'm surprised that they did not plead out on this case. The defense attorney, that is, that he's willing to roll the dice. I'm also surprised, if I'm correct, Jack, I think that they requested a trial without a jury.
Right, a bench trial, all right.
Right. So that, I don't know that defense attorney feels that confident that a judge is going to potentially dismiss or find him innocent. I mean, a jury trial, you have a jury and you can convince one person or, hopefully more, right? And if you're a defense attorney, that you place that doubt in there, reasonable doubt, then you have a hung jury or you have an acquittal. But for them to want a bench trial, it surprised me.
In the trial in New York of Marine Daniel Penny, a couple of things today. The city medical examiner testifying that although they found the dead man's death, Jordan Neely's death, to have been caused by asphyxia from compression to the neck, the toxicology also found drugs in his system, including a synthetic cannabis compound. And they also confirmed something we had heard earlier, which is that when first responders got on that subway car, he still had a pulse. What is your takeaway from that?
Well, it was interesting because I read that same toxicology report, and there were other injuries that are kind of unexplained, that it wouldn't be caused from a submission hold such as that. I mean, damage to the spleen, lacerations, or injury to the cavity, the chest cavity area. I mean, those are things that it almost seems as if another altercation had taken place for him to have those types of injuries, or another underlying health condition that we don't know about and they're not telling us. Because again, I watched the video, and it wasn't a brawl. It wasn't a fight, a fist fight and the tackle. I mean, the guy went straight for the submission hold to subdue him from harming other people and harming the Marine himself. So it was interesting to see all those different injuries that he had that no one's really talking about.
I think one of the things that has made this case such of great national interest is that it's the contrast between seeing Daniel Penny on trial, and yet most people, had they been in that subway car, would have hoped somebody would do what he did. I mean, that's just reality. Right.
And we kind of talked about that a little on that previous case we've talked about, where someone should take action, and And what if, right? What if they would have done something? Well, this is one of those situations where it flips, right? Well, what if he had not done anything? This person could have harmed someone or killed an innocent person on that subway. And so again, I mean, I think that this Marine was doing what he was trained to do and protect the lives of others and putting himself in harm's way to do that. And he stepped up. And I don't see the malice. I don't see the intention of wanting to kill someone. I see what he was trying to do is protect the lives of others on that subway.
Now, you have the training and you're very fit. Would you have done what he did? Would you have done it differently? Have you put yourself in that situation and thought about that at all?
You know, we talked about that a while back, and that submission hold is very effective. Reason being is that you don't, especially in law enforcement, for example, I don't have to tase someone. I don't have to pepper spray them. I don't have to hit them with a nightstick repeatedly and give commands. If you know how to do that submission hold, it's very effective. You put that person to sleep, and then you're able to handcuff them and apprehend them and subdue them. So I would have probably done the same thing. I mean, it's better than trying to go into blows with someone and square up and go fist to fist. And what if this guy has a weapon? What if he pulls a knife out? What if he pulls a gun out? You don't know that. So that submission hold is very effective. No one gets hurt. They wake up. This particular situation, to your point, the first responders responded, and he still had a pulse. He was still breathing. I don't know if I would have done anything differently. And that's a scary thing, Jack, because this is the thing that causes people to pause on doing the right thing.
Yes.
This is the exact example we talk about all the time. Even law enforcement, they're trying to do the right thing. And because of the optics, right, because of the way it looks, you have police leaders going to the podium and condemning them, and it's guilty till proven innocent. And then later on, the officers go through arbitration or even go through trial. That happened here recently. Several officers went through trial, and they said, no, you're not guilty. And so that same leader of that organization is not going back to the podium to say, hey, I got it wrong. What I said a year or 2 years ago, I was wrong. No, those officers get the job back. Well, now the public perception is, because you never corrected your statements, is we have a bunch of bad police officers. So that's what causes that division between the community and policing.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Now, Willie, good to hear from you as always. Thank you for the time. Willie's company is Blue Armor Security, and he is our go-to guy for security and law enforcement questions on our show. Thank you, Willie.